Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WESG EU and CIS Regional Finals. As always, my name is Hawker, back to bring you the final map of this series. We've already seen Space Soldiers just about edge cash, and NOREG looking good on Nuke managed to take themselves a 16-6 win to leave us on Mirage, the deciding map. I think it's fair to say Space Soldiers will be feeling a bit more confident heading into Mirage, a map they do play a fair amount of the time. It is also worth pointing out, I was reading the chat in the pre-game just now, and both teams said they pretty much didn't practice Nuke too much. For those dedicated viewers that are sticking around, you get the inside info. And Rubino was saying he was mainly just using North's tactics for Nuke, which I think it works fairly well, to be honest. Just taking stuff from teams you know are good on the map can certainly be a good idea. Either way, again, heading into Mirage, I still think Space Soldiers should be favoured for this final map. But at the same time, with NOREG taking cash so close, this could certainly go either way. Again, we've seen, I think throughout this whole tournament, that the story from NOREG for me has been the fact that both Marcelius and Radefaction have looked to be able to compete with some of the better teams they've been playing against, because they've both been very consistent against the sort of tier 2 and tier 3 teams online. But it hadn't necessarily been proven they could transfer it against some of these better teams, and it's been good to see them do so. Apparently one of the players is on the toilet, which is good to know. So it will be a little bit longer than a minute, but that just gives us a bit more time to discuss how we think this one will go on Mirage. Again, we saw as well Zevez stepping up back on Nuke. Jeez. Jeez, the chat is something. But yeah, I was told we were going to start in a minute, so that's why I went on, but instead we get to see some of the player chat before the game. As I was saying previously though, I still think Space Soldiers should be favoured to take this final map. But NOREG, again, they were looking good. Marcelius has been leading the way throughout this series. Zevez was really good on Nuke. I don't know if he's going to be able to convert that kind of performance in towards Mirage. But if Zevez does play as well as he did back on Nuke, then that should really push NOREG over the edge. Because, again, he's not been particularly great throughout this tournament so far. Meanwhile, on the Space Soldiers side, we certainly saw Despe play pretty well in the past. Standing in with the AWP, always going to be difficult, but he's been doing a fairly good job at it so far. And we'll have to wait and see if that form can continue here on Mirage. Again, Mirage is certainly a map where you can get the AWP working. On the CT side, it can be fairly difficult to hold mid early on if the smokes come in. Of course, that's going to be very commonly placed from the T side, if you like. However, there's still plenty more positions you can play with the AWP from, back in towards ticket booth, even in towards short, in towards B apartments. There are plenty of positions for the AWP to play from. So we will wait to see if the AWPs will be important in this final map. I think overall prediction, I'm still going to take Space Soldiers to edge this final map, but certainly could see NOREG taking this one. It really, I think, just depends on, again, if the players can show up on the Space Soldiers side of things. Xantares has been pretty good throughout the series. He was good in the first map. Of course, Nuke was a bit of a whitewash. It didn't really count for too much. So kind of difficult to know exactly how Mirage is going to go. And again, remember, the winner of this series does go up against Envy in the quarterfinals. That's not going to be an easy game for either of these teams. Envy looked really good in their group, of course, coming out in first, so they got a bye through to the quarterfinals. But again, Envy are also playing with a stand-in. Of course, Kiyoshima playing for them. And as well, there is, of course, prize money if you win this game. Straight away, it's an extra $4,000 just for winning this one series. And then, of course, you can work all the way up to the 40k for first place. And it's worth pointing out, the better you finish in this EU tournament, the better seeding you get for the main event, which, of course, is where the big money comes into play. So these series are still very, very important for these teams to give themselves the best possible chance heading into the main tournament in China. Either way, here we go. We're heading underway into the pistol. And okay, Space Soldiers, they're going to run boost out mid, it looked like. Not quite going to be a run boost, they're just holding for the push. So that makes a bit more sense. I was going to say, I was a bit confused, but they are just going to hold together on top of each other's head. And here we go, Xantares going in first, and it's Calyx behind him who gets the opening frag. Marcelius still trying to hold. He gets that running shot, but now he is all by himself looking to lock down B. And he should just be overwhelmed. There's so many players, and indeed he goes down. Redafaction has rotated over, but it seems like Space Soldiers are still just finding all the kills between them. And even though Zevez has the kit, he still has 3 opponents to deal with. Despe is low on health, but won't even get that first frag. Despe too quick with the headshot for Zevez to be able to take him down. And Space Soldiers, without really any utility, still get the B split to work out for them, which was somewhat surprising. I think the main thing was that NOREG didn't really have too much presence towards mid, except for that one player on towards shorts who just got overwhelmed by the Glock train so quickly. And from that point onwards, the B site hold was always going to be tricky. NOREG are going to take a bit of a gamble, stacking towards the A site. Radofaction just solo holding B with the Deeg. You can see Engine with the MAC-10 is going to be flashed into connector. Zevez is holding on the other side, but he won't connect with the shots himself. Bino is also in towards window, alongside Croman in connector, but it looks like NOREG, after stacking A early on, are now going to rotate back towards B and try to put most of their presence there. Xantares in towards connector. Won't quite spot out Croman. I don't think Croman's going to go for the peak, though. He seems to be waiting for any aggression, but you can see Space Soldiers are going to line up the B play. Okay, Xantares did get peeked on towards him, and he finds those 2 kills. Marcelius whiffing the shots with the Deeg, needs to find something, but he's going to struggle. Radofaction is here, but only the 1 kill for him. And Xantares mops it up with a 4k. Looked like NOREG decided to go for the double peek in towards mid, but Xantares must have just shut them down. I was expecting them to just hold in towards mid and wait for some sort of boost to come through, but instead it goes the other way. And so Space Soldiers should be able to take a clean 3-0 lead up against the Pistols here. NOREG again going to try to stack towards the A bomb site. But I'm expecting Space Soldiers to just try and get some info across the map and then see if they can spot out a stack. But instead, Despe is just going to commit there to the push. Still going to work out for them as Engine also ends up fragging out with the MAC-10. Despite the 1 kill from Croman, Rubino is the only man left, and Major will finish him off. So fairly standard 3-0 lead for Space Soldiers, but here we go. We have, of course, got NOREG with the buy, and Marcelius straight up to the AWP. You can only afford Kevlar alongside the AWP, but the rest of the team will have at least some utility to work with. But again, you oftentimes see this sort of buy for the CT side. After they go for the Force in round 2, they don't have any kits for NOREG. They don't really have that much utility, so it's still going to be a fairly tough hold for them. Despe himself has the AWP for Space Soldiers, and he's going to work out mid with Xantares. There is a player boosted up towards short. That is in fact the AWP of Marcelius. So he's looking to peer over the top of the smoke and see if he can open up for the CT side. Getting that first kill would of course be very, very valuable. Marcelius still going to hold off, but still not quite the push coming out from Space Soldiers. But as I say that, oh, Marcelius decides to go aggressive. The flash comes in for him. Engine gets one kill, but Marcelius finds an easy frag in reply. However, now he's going to have to give up that mid presence. Can't risk sticking around, especially with Despe honing in on him with this AWP. In the meantime, it's Calix trying to push towards the A site, and Zevez there in towards CT spawn was forced back. So the A take could be fairly easy now for Space Soldiers if their utility is correctly placed, but they don't have any smokes left. That could make things tricky, even with the Molotovs. They're going to have to try and get themselves some kills towards the site to get the bomb plant so cleanly. Faction gets one frag. In the meantime, the players from CT will try to stop the push. It's Zevez who does get taken out. Calix goes down. A very sloppy fight towards the site. But it's all up to Engine and Major, both low on health. Engine spots out Radafaction, and so it's only Croman left alive. He's in a 1v2, but he's on only 32 HP. Bomb plant will just about come in, but Croman does get that first frag. Engine decided not to support his teammate. Oh, Croman's going to try and stick it, but Engine spots him out. And there it is. Engine closes it out with a 3k, finding that final headshot very, very quickly to secure the lead for Space Soldiers, going now to a 4-0 scoreline. And again, of course, with NOREG having just pistols here, they could be in trouble. Space Soldiers need to make sure they don't underestimate the pistols, of course. There's Engine there, gets that first kill, I believe, out towards mid. In the meantime, Rubino going to go for the fight, and Xantares does take some damage. However, he will manage to stay safe. In the meantime, Croman in towards ladder room could have found an angle there, and it's all Engine pushing into connector, trying to find something with the Mac, and eventually gets the kill. But in the meantime, Rubino took down Calix on towards A, so that will be an AK for himself, and Croman gets another easy kill towards Engine. It's only the Mac 10 lost. Another frag lost, and oh, Despe's gun barrel is peeking out. Croman, I don't think is going to be able to get the kill, and there we go. Despe eventually spots him out. So that means Zevez is going to try and force something with the Deeg. Does more damage. Xantares low, but he manages to stay alive. Major coming in to assist his teammate. That was an important kill for Major to get, because if Xantares goes down, that becomes very winnable. However, instead, Rubino will elect to try to save this AK. So Space Soldiers will take a fairly fast 5-0 lead. But NOREG now will have a much better buy than they had in the previous round. They will be able to get fairly good utility, and I'm expecting Marcelius again to go for the AWP, because you can see their money is flowing. And also, Rubino saving this AK means it should pretty much be full nades for most of the team. I thought Radafaction was going to call for the drop there, but he decides not to. Either way, it's going to be double AWPs. Croman picking up the second AWP, interestingly enough. I was expecting Rubino maybe to go for it, but seems like Croman has decided he wants to go for the second AWP, and I expect him to be just holding towards B apartments with that one. Despe is out towards mid. Marcelius, oh, I don't know if he spotted Despe crossing towards top mid there. Marcelius is going to continue to hold, but the flash forces him back. Xantares rattles off a couple of shots. Very close there on the edge of the smoke, but not quite the kill. And as we were expecting, Croman is just holding B apartments with the AWP. This is a fairly easy angle to hold, and it allows them to commit 3 players to A. So I don't think it's necessarily Croman buying the AWP because he's particularly good with it. I just think it's easier for him to lock down this side of the map with that AWP in his hands. And Zevez there pushes into a ramp for that initial kill. Flash comes out, Major opening up B, easy spray down. And so now Radafaction has to rotate over, and he will get back to B in the nick of time to make sure that Major cannot get the site for himself. Seems like Space Soldiers, though, will be trying to make their way back towards A, where currently Zevez is the only man on the hold. Marcelius will now rotate over. He should be the first line of defense with the AWP. Oh, he could be peeked on here. Xantares does spot him out, and Marcelius decides to peek very unnecessarily. He goes down first, but Zevez is still on the site. There's the first kill. Trying to just slow things down and make sure his teammates can get into position. Where did those kills come from? Despe gets a Molotov kill in towards Connector. But it's still Xantares on just 6 HP. Faction spots out the cross. Xantares, though, gets himself the AWP. That's why he wanted to get to this position. To try and just land the one AWP shot he needs. Defuse attempt comes in. Xantares pulls the trigger, but Faction has faked the bomb. Now he tries to stick it. Molotov, though, he's not going to allow him. Oh, Xantares, here we go. Oh my god. What is there to say about that? Xantares, on 3 points of health, lines up the wallbang perfectly. I mean, what could you even do against that? Very well played by Xantares. Again, I'm really impressed there that Xantares, despite not picking up the AWP too often for his team, he goes straight in towards CT because he's so low on health. He knows the AWP is there, and he just wants to get that one kill. And Xantares is clearly feeling the AWP. He's going to stick with it for this round. Boost comes in for Rubino. He has the AWP for the CT side. Looks like someone must have had a lot of money. I guess he had the cash built up to buy that AWP. So Space Soldiers shouldn't really expect an AWP here to be bought up for the CT side. In the meantime, Major trying to hold off. There is a smoke deployed, so he won't really be able to get an opening kill. In the meantime, the rest of Space Soldiers going to group back up around A with 3 of their bodies. And it seems like Zevez is going to think of the push in towards A slope. He's played this position previously, so I'm expecting Space Soldiers to clear this out, especially when they know they're up against pistols. I'm not expecting Zevez to get too much done on the hold, but if Space Soldiers don't clear this position fully, he could certainly slow this push down. Still, he is all by himself, and the rotate will be so long. Zevez, here's the steps, but yep, they just pre-aim that position. He played there, I think, just the very last round, and so that allows a fairly easy hold. Croman got 1 kill back in towards jungle, but the rest of the team are fragging out. And Rubino does get the 1 kill back with that AWP he bought up. So a 2v3 now, but without the kit, don't think they should really go for this one, especially as Rubino can just save that AWP if he so desires. With the Deeg, just gets decapitated. Major finishes him off, and Rubino does get another exit kill, but Space Soldiers do have a fair amount of money already built up. Rubino again going to try and see if he can play for a frag more here. You'd have thought he might just want to save, but he could be in trouble now, playing on the site itself. They're going to try and push towards him. Rubino needs to be careful. Engine comes in. Engine finishes him off just before the time runs out. So that AWP will not be saved, but NOREG will still have the cash to buy. It's just going to be Marcelius forced to not quite have the full utility that he might desire. And there you go. Rubino will now be picking up the second AWP. So it seems like, as I was saying earlier, Croman isn't particularly going to be the secondary AWPer for the team. It was just because he wanted to hold down B apartments in that previous round. But now we will see Rubino on the other AWP. Interestingly enough, 2 AWPs holding towards the A side of the map. So if Space Soldiers go for these smokes over the top, it's going to be somewhat tricky for NOREG to hold this site. Especially if, for example, Marcelius is playing up on ticket boosts. He can only really get 1 kill and then be very, very exposed if the push were to come in. And that could allow a fairly quick trade if he doesn't fall back quickly enough. Flash is coming out towards A, and so here we go. The push will come in. Marcelius decides to commit to the site itself. And Zevez is going to try and cut off the push before it can begin. Oh, Engine with a flash gets that opener. Marcelius is trying to hold the site, but he will also fall. And Rubino is the only man anywhere near the site for the time being. Finally, Rarefaction will get back into position, but oh, Rubino stops the bomb plants. That was a huge kill to just slow down the push because there is no utility left and the bomb is out in the open. This becomes very difficult, but oh, Major finds the flank over towards mid. That's Rarefaction taken down. Roman finds the trade, but the bomb is recovered. Roman's coming from mid, and Rubino is still having to play safe. And with that smoke being deployed, the bomb should be planted. Rubino tries to get the shot through the smoke, but won't be successful. Rubino misses that all-important shot, and that allows Engine to capitalize. He gets himself 2 kills. And Space Soldiers are now 8-0 up. NOREG have taken a fair few rounds close, but they just haven't converted so far. And this is becoming somewhat reminiscent of Nuke, where NOREG themselves got such a strong lead on their T side. And Space Soldiers now are looking to do the exact same to their opponents. Again, just pistols, and Marcelius messes up the jump, but he will still try and push up close mid. However, it won't lead to anything. He goes down first. Oh, Croman gets tagged through the smoke there. Oh, does still get a headshot for himself, but they've still got the man disadvantage to play from. As this smoke fades, Rarefaction might get the chance to try and take down Major. He is in fact going to push his way forwards. Major could be caught in the back. In the meantime, though, Croman out towards mid might get a kill for himself. Instead, it's going to be Rubino taking the first fight. CZ spray down is good for an AK. And in the meantime, Croman hoping to get a deagle kill or 2, but Rubino was taken out, and Engine pushing into jungle gets himself 2 kills. Rarefaction does flank on towards Xantares to bring it into a 1v2, but oh dear. He does not expect Engine to be so far pushed. So he will end up being taken down at the hands of Engine, who is having a very good map for himself. 15 frags for Engine this time. And Space Soldiers have kind of shown that they have a bit more depth than I was initially expecting. I was really expecting Xantares and Calix to have to play very well to allow Space Soldiers to have this sort of scoreline. But instead, this time it's Engine stepping up. And I think if, again, someone else on Space Soldiers steps up alongside Xantares and Calix, that can really make this team an incredibly sort of difficult team to deal with, just in terms of firepower. Marcelius is holding mid, while Zevez yet again is solo holding the A site. He's struggled on towards A so far. And with 4 players being ready to line up the smokes, the bomb is actually not committed towards A here. So it's going to be a fake towards the A site, I believe. You can see on the minimap, the players are making their way back around, but with the smoke being so badly missed, Marcelius can certainly spot out that there is no one here. There wasn't too many nades thrown from Space Soldiers, but now they're going to, I think, throw a couple more smokes. They're trying to fake that they have already gone back to B, and now they're faking going back to B and going A. Like, I don't know how to say it, but you get what I mean. Now it's going to be another fake towards A. And you can see, still not a massive rotation from the Norwegian side. But there will be now 2 players committing to the push. Calix takes some damage. Out comes the Molotov. And Engine and Calix will try to sell this fake as hard as they can. And NOREG are buying it. They've got 4 players here. This is a huge rotation over. In the meantime, Rarefaction towards B has to hold it off, but over towards A. The trades go the way of Space Soldiers. Calix gets himself all 3 frags. Rarefaction looking to lock down Connector. The spray is good for the first kill. And the bomb is dropped. 13 seconds left. But Despe will get back to the side. No, Rarefaction takes him down. Has Calix got the time here? 7 seconds. He will get the bomb planted. So Rarefaction on 16 HP is up against Calix on 18 points of health himself. Rarefaction making his way forward, switching up to the AK, still hasn't spotted Calix on the back of the site. Calix doesn't spot Rarefaction himself. Here comes the push, but Calix is in position to secure the round. 3 kills on the A entrance and a 4th to close out the 1v1 allows Calyx to close yet another round for Space Soldiers as they get double digits before NOREG can respond. And again, we've seen NOREG take a fair few of these rounds close, but they've just not quite had enough to close it out in the vital clutch positions. A tactical pause is going to come out from NOREG. And at this point, it's certainly warranted with how far behind they are. But to be honest, it feels like Space Soldiers, again, they might just be too far ahead. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe NOREG can salvage a few rounds on their CT half and keep themselves in with a chance. But it is not going to be easy to come back into this game. Remember, the loser of this map is out of the tournament. It's as simple as that. They will still qualify for the WESG main event. Both these teams have a spot there locked up. But there is plenty of prize money to play for here still in the EU regional finals. Radafaction with the scout. Also has support from his teammate. It's Engine on the other side. Actually, no, sorry, it's Major who gets that first kill. And Radafaction could be in trouble. Stuck in towards Biaps. Does get the 1 kill, but Engine was there for the backstab. And so now Rubino has to hold off. Does get the 1 kill and an AK for free. I don't know why Engine decided he needed to push the B site there. I guess he thought it was likely clear, but in the meantime, yet again, it's Calyx to open up A. And as the bomb makes its way back around, this should now be a fairly easy win for Space Soldiers. The molly will also slow down the retake attempt. Smoke has come in towards CT. Marcelius himself is in towards stairs. I think he spotted Calyx out there towards that back box. However, it seems like Marcelius should have been flanked, but Despe doesn't quite get the kill. Rubino instead doubles down from CT. So now Despe again has to win another 1v1. Rubino on the bomb. Despe decides to peek, and again he will nail the shot in the clutch. Space Soldiers have been holding their nerve to win all of these 1v1s. And on one hand, you have to feel like if NOREG could have won 1 or 2 of these clutches, this could be a very different game right now. These rounds have been close. I think this is one of those games where the scoreline is maybe a little bit harsh on NOREG, who certainly could have picked up a round here or a round there, but they just haven't been able to do so. It's as simple as that. Oh, Marcelius. Okay, maybe that's what NOREG needed. He gets the first kill with the AWP in towards a ramp. There is also Major pushed out towards mid, but it seems like Engine is thinking of pushing through the smoke here. Zantares already gets that first kill. And Engine now needs to clear sandwich. Does he do so? Radafaction is caught out. And the rotation is nowhere near quickly enough. Major is going to allow them to come through mid, but here we go. He could get this kill. Zevez needs to win this fight. Major tapping away, does get the headshot, but we're back to a 2-on-2 because Marcelius dropped down the bomb. Oh, Marcelius gets another kill. 4 frags for him on the AWP. He wants the ace and he's going to get it. Marcelius steps up again for NOREG. That AWP has been so important for them throughout this series. He's had a few big rounds, and finally, it's him who steps up to allow NOREG to get their first on the board. I was watching the fight towards mid there because I assumed Space Soldiers would have had the utility deployed, but Marcelius was not smoked off in towards CT, and so he just continued to open up with the AWP. And now NOREG going to go aggressive in towards a ramp. Flash comes out. Croman is here alongside Radafaction with the MP7. Marcelius is also towards A with the AWP. So that's something to point out, because Space Soldiers fell prey to that in the very previous round. Faction just deploys the smoke. Croman's going to stick in towards A ramp. Flash is coming out. Croman going so aggressive. They're so blind. And Croman gets himself that first kill. Radafaction also goes aggressive, spraying away. And he shuts down the A ramp push. That is the bomb in full control for the Norwegians. And Xantares now has to try and recover it. In the meantime, Major is fighting towards B. If he could get this kill, that would certainly crack the round a bit more open. Oh, the timing is slightly wrong. Major is still scared he could be pushed, but Xantares is trying to get the bomb himself. We're seeing fights all across the map right now, but it seems like Major is still trying to get this kill. No scope connects, but not the frag. Xantares, in the meantime, is flanked. And so Major now, with the Glock, will finally finish off Zevez. But with 25 seconds, he needs to be as fast as a panther. And I don't think he's going to be. The bomb is way too far away. Will just be Major saving. And, well, looking at the money for Space Soldiers again, with so many of these recent rounds being incredibly close. Look at how close all these rounds were. Like, this has been really unfortunate for NOREG that they haven't been able to close out one or two of these earlier. Because you can see Space Soldiers' money with just 2-round losses is terrible. They're going to get the AWP for Major. Of course, saved from the previous round, but the rest of the team will not have much to work with. Major with the AWP will go over towards B apartments, see if he can find an entry or two. Deep smoke comes in and Major will easily get here first. Mon will force him back. It's Zevez who's lining up the push for himself. Flash comes in, Major full blind, doesn't have the support, and Zevez, one by one, knocks them down. As soon as the AWP is lost, it's just pistols left. Xantares is trying to do something, anything, to salvage the round, but it's just not meant to be. Zevez with a 4K closes out a third for NOREG, and they save those double AWPs for the last round of the half. Rubino will take one alongside, of course, Marcelius, who we saw get that ace previously. So Space Soldiers will, of course, have to buy, but Major, without the money, after saving and not getting any money with that AWP previously, will just have the Mac 10. Xantares himself is going to go for some mid-play early on. In the meantime, Despe pushing in towards a ramp. Radifaction could be in trouble here if the spray were to connect. He goes aggressive, but he gets shut out. The push coming in. These kills are coming all across the map. And NOREG only have 2 players left. That was so quick, and Major, again with the Mac 10, finds another kill. I thought that Mac 10 was going to be tricky to utilize for Major, but he completely outguns the opposition, finding 3 frags with the SMG. And that kind of sums up this map so far for Space Soldiers. They've looked very, very good between them all. 12-3 for Space Soldiers to work from. And at this point, they're so far ahead, you would have to assume they'll be able to close this out, especially heading into their CT side. Again, a quick glance at the scoreboard at the half. Apart from that one round where Zevez shut down the B push, he had a very, very tough first half on the A site. And you saw, I think, NOREG decided to switch that up towards the latter stages because Zevez was having a tough time of things. In the meantime, for Space Soldiers, again, we were saying earlier that Engine was really the man standing out. Looks like NOREG were having some issues, but we will be ready to get back into the game and back into the all-important pistol. If NOREG lose this pistol round, you would have to assume that the road for the comeback would be incredibly difficult. So So here we go, round 16. It could be a decisive one. If Space Soldiers win this, I think they've just got to be too far ahead. Zevez is going to get himself the Molotov alongside the smoke. Molly will be deployed. That will land in towards window. In the meantime, the rest of NOREG are making their way in towards underpass, so they will try and boost their way up in towards window by the looks of things. I'm not sure Xantares will be fully ready for this. Engine is helping him out in towards connector, so Xantares doesn't necessarily have to stick around here. There is already a player boosted up. Radofaction is on the other side of the smoke. But you can see Xantares starting to be aware of the possibility. Both players just holding their ground, but Xantares now makes a move, and Radofaction could have caught him out, but Xantares gets away with his life. In the meantime, a push is coming in towards a ramp. Engine should be opening up here. Radofaction is indeed taken down, but the push will come out towards B, and Despe has to shut this out. Can't get a single kill, and so now Engine is left with a lot to do, but he gets dinked, and so NOREG will have themselves the B bomb site. And Croman here pushed up in kitchen, could catch Xantares in the back. Oh, Croman isn't peeking out here. Xantares won't clear the corner. Oh, Croman! You have to get that kill. That's a big, big mistake. Rubino gets the one frag back. It's still a 2v2 to play from, but he will be overwhelmed. Marcelius needs this frag. This is so important. It's a one-on-one that could decide the game. Marcelius doesn't get the kill. But I think there might not be time. Major can't find the kit. There it is. Does he have the time? Oh, it's so close. No, Major doesn't have the defuse. He couldn't find the kit. I thought he was just going to run to the bomb because of where the kit was, but clearly he didn't know exactly where it was in the heat of the moment. And so NOREG just about managed to win the pistol round. So incredibly close. And I think if Engine would have run straight to the bomb there, past the defuse, he would have probably got that defuse in time. However, instead, NOREG just about stay alive. They've still certainly got their backs up against the wall, but they at least have one more lifeline. NOREG now need to make sure they absolutely do not risk losing this round. This would be the most devastating round to lose. They get a little bit of luck to win the pistol, a little bit of a mistake coming out from Engine. And now they just need to make sure they don't lose this round, because again, that would be so heartbreaking for them. Xantares is going to push up top mid with the Desert Eagle, and Marcelius could be in some danger here. He was jiggle peeking, but I don't know if he knows Xantares is pushed up. Oh, this could be dangerous. Xantares is in position for the first frag, spraying away, and Xantares doubles down on the mid play. Finally, Rubino gets the trade back, but it's still a 3v3. And so the early damage from Xantares has certainly helped the team. Either way, this is still very, very winnable for both sides. Rubino caught off guard. Croman has to get this trade, but he can't quite do it. Engine survives on 3 points of health. And with 30 seconds left, it seems as though NOREG are just going to have to go for the A push. Radofaction needs this frag. There it is. Gets the headshot. But Croman could be in danger. He has the bomb into connector. And Despe has him locked down. But there it is. The kills just about come through again. NOREG make it close. But they manage to close out against the Force buy. And it still feels like Space Soldiers, once they get back to that buy, could still very much shut out NOREG. Either way, Space Soldiers decide it's finally time for the eco, as you would expect. There is a man in towards underpass, so Despe could certainly get himself a couple of kills if they don't expect him to be there. It's actually Xantares to get the opening in towards that position. And here comes Despe. Will they expect him to be here? Rubino out in the open does get taken out. This would be a huge round win for Space Soldiers. They've already got the opening 2 kills, and they're going to stack the B site. That That could just work out for them, depending on if the push is going to come through. Zevez is going in first. They're not quite committing to the B play just yet. And Space Soldiers themselves won't fully stack this site. NOREG have almost no map control here. I think they just have to go for the B push. Molly comes out. Despe could be forced into the open. Zevez is going to go in first. The UMP might just get some kills. No, he goes down. This is it. Space Soldiers surely have this round. Marcelius misses the kill out mid. The Glock comes out for the frag. But Marcelius has to ace. Rotations coming in. Calyx is here in position. Calyx could go for the peek. Here it is, the flash. I think that was Marcelius' own flash. Blinds him up. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, Space Soldiers take their 13th round. And that is a brutal round loss. What else is there to say? NOREG have to go for the force. And you can see here, this smells of desperation. They're just going to go all towards B. Hoping that someone makes a mistake from the Space Soldiers side. Nade comes out. Does some damage early on. Major is the first line of defense, but he also has some support from Engine. Out comes the Molly. This could be a shutdown. Major gets the one, spraying away. 3 kills for Major. Completely shutting down the B push. And Major is just so good right now. Spraying through the smoke. He did need a little bit of luck, but it's such a tight corner, such a tight corridor, that Major completely annihilates the push. He wants the ace, but Rubino will shut that out. However, I don't think Rubino is going to be winning the round by any stretch of the imagination, and in comes Calyx. It seems like Space Soldiers are almost guaranteed their spot in the quarterfinals now. We will get another pause called from the NOREG side. I believe they do still have a couple of timeouts left. And at this point, it's certainly worth utilising them because of how far behind they are. Remember, Envy are waiting in the quarterfinals for the winner of this series. In the meantime, over in the other game, Ukraine managed to take down Big 2-0. So that's one of the other quarterfinals settled, as Wololo up against Ukraine. But we still have to make sure that it will indeed be Space Soldiers making their way through from this very round of 12 matchup. Again, it's just pistols for NOREG. They did, of course, take the time out, so they will try to make their way up towards mid. Xantares is smoked off. I think he may have tried to block that smoke, but it will still cut him off. Xantares actually took a little bit of damage there as he goes back to connector. Don't think that's exactly where he wanted the smoke to be deployed, but he still goes for the fight. Oh, he goes down first. Engine is going to try and help him out towards mid to make sure the trade can come in. It looks like Engine will be forced back by the flames. They are going to boost up Major. Such an easy kill. And Major will just decide to fall back. No need to stick around in that position. He's more than happy to get the one frag back. Ratifaction will also go down towards A. The rest of the Norwegian team will try to come back and group up for the A push. But Calyx and Despe are both still here. Despe is just about watching towards ramp. The timing could be important here. I'm expecting Despe now to get the frag. There it is. Calyx chimes in with a kill himself. And Croman will get towards the site, but will not survive for too much longer. Calyx gets a triple to finish him off. And Space Soldiers might just finish NOREG off here in this entire tournament. Again, if you have just joined us, I think the scoreline is a little bit, not necessarily misleading, but there were so many close rounds in that first half where Space Soldiers just closed out these clutches. And again, Space Soldiers clearly had the presence of mind to win those clutches, so you can't take that away from them. But NOREG, on another day, if they win a couple of those rounds, could certainly make a big difference. Xantares does go down, but Calyx is there to get 2 kills back from the A site. He eventually falls, and Despe is smoked off. So Marcelius and Rubino have to keep NOREG in the tournament. It's now or never for Norway. And Marcelius goes down. Despe was blind, but he still gets the shots. Rubino needs to be the hero. 1 kill. Gets the second headshot, and the molly will go towards the bomb. Engine is nowhere near the action here. Rubino might just pull this one off. Out comes the smoke. Engine does have the kit. And Rubino is just going to stay safe. There's the defuse. It's a fake from Engine. And Rubino is going to be forced to peek. He goes for the spray, but Engine is there. Very well played by Engine. And he just about has time for the defuse. He forces Rubino to push. He himself dictates the fight. And that allows Space Soldiers to take the final map 16-5. Again, got to give credit to NOREG. They were surprising, I think, in this series. They looked very good on Nuke. They nearly stole Cash away as the first map. This was a very, very close series. However, Space Soldiers, with the stand-in, just about hold on to the 2-1 win. We, of course, still have one more game coming up for you on the B stream, at least that I'm going to bring you, and then we'll throw it over to the NA commentators for the final 2 games of the day. So make sure to come back on the break. My name has been Hawker. We will be back with Limitless Addict versus Belgium, I believe. So if you want to stick around for that, you are more than welcome to. But if this is where you leave us, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy, if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you want to support me or whatever, I guess you can follow me at Hawker_CS. My Twitter isn't great, but you know, it's up to you. I'm just letting you know now, don't expect too much. But yeah, thank you guys for